Ой. Ах. Добрый вечер, дорогие зрители. Мы находимся в змеином гнезде. В переносном смысле этого слова. Но я думаю, даже в реальном змеином гнезде те змеи, реальные змеи, были бы в шоке от того, насколько тут все так. Так. Тут я с Мориган поговорил, по-моему. Было такое ведь. Я тут уже в который раз нахожусь. Ключ я не нашел, да, по-моему. Немножко распространение двора подтвердил, но я думаю, это вообще ни на что не влияет. Главное, чтобы ноля не было. О, это большая библиотека, кстати говоря. Я ж тут был уже. Я тут все рассмотрел. Да. Даже скрытное что-то там обнаружил. О, кстати, я знаю, где это я. Я вот отсюда вышел, что ли? Так, войдите в людскую. Ну, давайте в людскую. Раз войдите написано. Я больше тут не найду. Инквизитор Америдан, тот самый первый инквизитор, который служил во благо Орлея, где мы сейчас и находимся. Служил до конца. Взять оружие на спихе можно в инвентаре. Ну, вы даете, конечно, да. Взяли меня разделие. Черт бы вас побрал. Так, эти хоть остались на месте, аксессуары. То хорошо. Ту-ту-ту-ту. Так, и железный бык. Замечательно. И каждый раз придется одеваться по новой, если что. Агенты Бриала, да? Сначала направо. Так, дневничок. Дневник любопытная служанка. С тех пор, как я отнесла ту штукатулку в дворязный покой, уже 9 раз попытались у меня выведать, где тайник. В том числе пара шевалье. 5 помощник садовника и лакей в Лиге Цыги. Не сказала, конечно, нашли дуру. Она спит? Не, наверное, ее зарезали. Она, видите, глаза приоткрыты. А это что, тоже мертва или как? Да, тут все мертвы. Их во сне всех зарезали. Что-то не очень во сне, но все равно было сделано по-тихому. Ага. Вот это кагала. Так, блядь. У меня влияние портится. Теряется почему-то. Потому что надо не задерживаться в таких местах. Как мне... Сука, я ростом высокий. Давай, Варик. Я экран не вижу ни хера. Блин, а как мне запрыгнуть-то? Да. Как-то по-другому, что ли? Через бочку. Ага. Бочку, блин. Очень смешно. Через бочку. Ну, я хз. Здесь, как здесь эту клоунаду нахуй? Я только тут вижу, что можно забраться, разве нет? Как Галу взять, блять? Сука. Варик, почему ты, блядь, соскальзываешь? Я не соскальзывала. Блять, тупые мудаки, уйдите с дороги. Время играет против нас. Видите, она не соскальзывает, ей похуй. А я-то почему соскальзывал? Пощада, игра, просто пощади. Дай взять эту статуэтку. Нахуй игра так изводишь людей? Че, книга какая-то. Зимний дворец, крыло прислуги. На 5-м году своего правления императрица Селина значительно расширила дворцовую людскую. К ней был добавлен большой участок сада. Этот сад, оформленный садовником Трену, считается образцом его стиля одним из лучших в Орлее. Элоди Ферно. А чё, у меня инет пропал или что? Что происходит? Блять, не дай бог рогами зацепишься.
Shall we have a look around?
Отлично, 4. 4 из 10. Кто их всех убил? Эльфы?
This was no servant. What was he doing here? This man was a council of Herald's emissary. Curious to find him here. Is that Gaspard's family crest on the hilt of that dagger? Time to have a word with the Duke.
Ебать. Ниндзя какие-то. Серьезно? Винатори? Колохи они. Куда я пришел вообще? Я не знаю, откуда я пришел. Вот оттуда. Или что, или откуда я пришел? Сука. Я пришел оттуда, где сейчас заперто. Просто время играет против нас. Расположение дворца падает и тяжело. Не спешить. В таком раскладе. Видите, оно падает, продолжает падать. Смотря ни на что. Главное, чтобы оно нулю не было равно, я так понимаю. Все остальное уже не так важно. Найти шута. Наверх можно зайти. Куда только нельзя. Игра торопит, блять, еще тебя. Дворянский покой найдено. Да, я в курсе. Но мы не факт, что сможем вернуться. Че, я нашел какое письмо? Сианский лев, ясно, мусор. Дверь закрыта. Монетка. Джесси Вис, мать Орлея. наверх, не сюда, видимо, либо чё. На Бардесианском театре. Так, это я где? Понял. Так, кусты, кусты, кусты. Королевский эльфийский корень. Такого я не встречал. Блядь, неужели вы не можете справиться с этим клоуном? Вход был в здании, но там еще как-то наверху я видел, можно было пройти. Вот там, видите, подъем. Что наверху? Как думаете? Есть ли что-то? Так. Опа. Чуть не пропустил. Вот видите, можно поверху куда-то пройти, непонятно куда. Надо посмотреть, что это наверху. Потому что я нашел проход к шуту, видимо. А это куда ведет? Статуэтка Галлы тут была замечательно. Идем внутрь за шутом. Больше нехер тратить время. Ой, я еще тут не был. Все, игра, я захожу. Иду к шуту. Зимний дворец, дворянский покой. Это крыло когда-то служило вторым домом 4 младшим ветвям рода Вальму, но после восшествия на престол императрицы Флориана им перестали пользоваться. Покойный император не пускал в Зимний дворец никаких родственников, кроме ближайших. В течение многих лет все дворянское крыло стояло запертым. Так, мне в дверь очевидно. Что здесь? Или мне не в дверь? Блять, мне походу не в дверь. Блять, что же там было за дверью? Здесь меня сейчас не выкинут.
Fancy meeting you here. You must be Inquisitor Ada. I thought you'd be more impressive.
Ты кто
We
такая?
haven't been properly introduced, have we?
Посол Бриан, я так и
I'm Ambassador
думал.
Briala.
Красивый титул.
Ambassador, is it? Whose ambassador are you exactly?
If the nobility is going to treat elves as if we are not citizens, we may as well have the trappings of a foreign power. You clean this place out. It will take a month to get all the Tevinter blood off the marble. I came down to save or avenge my missing people, but you've beaten me to it. So, the Council of Herald's emissary in the courtyard. That's not your work, is it?
Эмиссар Совета Геральдов. А что если так?
If I did kill him, what would you do?
Well, I wouldn't believe you for one. You may have arrived with the Grand Duke, but you don't seem to be doing his dirty work. I knew he was smuggling his chevaliers, but killing a council emissary? Bringing Tevinter assassins into the palace? Those are desperate acts. Gaspar must be planning to strike tonight.
Гаспар не казался
Are you
отчаявшимся.
sure he's behind this? He was too easygoing for a man plotting treason.
Don't let his charm blind you. He's Orlesian. That smile is his mask. I misjudged you, Inquisitor. You might just be an ally worth having. What could you do with an army of elven spies at your disposal? You should think about it.
Цена.
What do I have to give you in exchange for this army of spies?
A moment of consideration. I know which way the wind is.
Это очень дорого.
I'd bet coin that you'll be part of the peace talks before the night is over.
Это
And if you happen
дорогая
to lean a
цена.
little bit our way, it could prove advantageous to us both.
Так, главное, не спрыгивай за ней. Оставайся на месте, не спрыгивай.
Every single major player has tried to bribe you tonight. In Orlais, that means you've officially arrived.
It's the game, my dear. Everyone plays it here.
Блин, я кала набрал, теперь я ничего взять не могу. Всё, кал не берем. Хочу узнать, что за той дверью. Будем возвращаться потихой. Кайф.
An elven locket, stored away in a palace safe. Unwise, Celine.
I'll admit, I didn't think the Empress was this sentimental.
Положение двора падает. Уже 28 от 40 осталось. Я еще не все изучил. Безумный император Ревель, кому интересно. И не очень. Так, это что такое? Выход? Какой? Ясно, баги какие-то. Кажется, быстрее было бы спрыгнуть. Так, остался выход найти. Я не знаю, где выход. Вот, наверное, выход. Эльфийка-агент. Ну, привет, эльфийка-агент. А за что вы передо мной в долгу? Ну ладно. В долгу так в долгу. Потерял суть вещей. Как мы вообще эльфам каким-то образом помогли? Я что-то не совсем понял. Следуйте в зал трофеев.
Might be something here. Better take a closer look.
Опа. Тайная встреча, господа. Следуйте зал. Посол Энтон.
Is it true what they say? You're the Inquisitor, are you not? We heard stories of your accomplishments.
Какие истории я могу
I
поведать?
wager I have better tales than anything you've heard.
I told you, Philippe. Not everyone fights an archdemon and lives to tell. It's an inspiration.
Расскажите, что вы
I'm
слышали.
curious. What did you hear about the fight with the Archdemon?
They say the army of the Inquisition fought a desperate stand at Haven against the forces of an old god. As the battle raged, you faced down evil incarnate. Spell against spell. Its forces had you trapped. And you cast down a mountain upon the Archdemon and escaped.
Even if a tenth of that is true, it's a remarkable feat.
Вам поговорить с Калином.
If you'd like, Commander Cullen could give you all the details of that battle. He's in the ballroom.
Really? But I shouldn't leave my post.
You'd only be gone a moment.
Philippe, the world is coming to an end. If we don't hear this story now, we'll never have a chance.
You're right.
Опа, плюс 10. Найс.
Let's go.
Почти трофей что-нибудь, что осталось после встречи Каспара. Секретные торговые переговоры. Опять свинья. Монетка каприз. Блин. Очередная дверь, которую я не могу взломать, потому что нужен лавкач. Кала, замечательно. Розетка в Халамшаре, зацепки. Филипп, когда пришлю тебе тройную порцию бренди, отправляйся в западное крыло дворца. Риск неприемлем. Гаспар. Медведь, добыть на хребте охотничий рог. Пронто, подарок императору Этьену. Ага. Сюда бы. Я не ловкач, ну это бред. Расположение двора продолжает падать, что ли? Серьезно? Вернулась.
We are not serving drinks. Bother someone else.
We need more servers in the ballroom. Where is everybody?
Скандальная.
Gaspar is wasting his time. Nothing he does could win over the Council of Property.
We should consider that. Burn them all now.
Нормально я так насобирал.
Good evening, Inquisitor.
Inquisitor, enjoying the ball, I hope.
What exactly does a court historian do?
I am responsible for the historical records of the court. I maintain our library and record all official proceedings.
Are you here to chronicle the events of the evening for posterity?
А мы это
Oh,
спрашивали.
yes. This is a even if maker.
Мы это спрашивали.
His own uncle. This door is sealed for the evening. Bleed.
Так.
Well, that's useful.
Фига тут разбросали, это уже ничего не было. Скажу, этого же ничего не было, разбросали нормально тут. Так, может быть, бык что скажет? Ничего не скажет. Окей. Ну-ка.
Did I hear correctly? If you're interested in bringing the Templars to heel, you may have found an ally.
If that's true, I would welcome an
Oh,
alliance
nice.
with Inquisition. I will get in touch with your Lady Nightingale. I have assets that might benefit your cause.
Gentlemen.
Сейчас не завербован агент. Быстро я завербовал
We
агента.
will be in touch, Inquisitor.
Еще одну статуэтку надо где-то найти. Реально мне не хватает? Да. Здесь я не проебал ее нигде.
Where has that servant gone? Elves, always shirking their duties.
Интересно, наверху что-нибудь появилось? То есть сейчас свалю наверх опять, и там ни хрена не будет. Вряд ли, да? Гала, 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 гала. Еще бы одну галу где-то найти. А тут ни хрена не будет. О, было что-то. Там было что-то. Монетка была. Вот тут же и выкинем.
Elves, always shirking their duties.
We can only hope Celine prevails tonight. Gaspar will ruin us all.
Gaspar is wasting his time. Nothing he does could win over the Council of Heroes.
Burn them all in their homes.
Ну-ка, герцог Жермен. Ничего, герцог Жермен. Теперь может подслушать что-нибудь. Почему секрет, кстати, не прибавился?
I had no idea.
Что не прибавляется? Понимаю. Должен же прибавляться рай для шантажиста. Или они не прибавляются почему-то. Одну галу бы, одну галу.
Your investments seem to be paying off. War encourages armies to borrow.
Что же там за дверью может быть такого? Может, ключ от императорского крыла? Ну, вряд ли. Вряд ли. О. В Британском театре этого не было. Да, оно взялось. Может, все-таки тут что-нибудь появилось? Да. Появилось. Как оно не собирается почему-то. Я не знаю, почему оно не собирается. Бред. Открыть. Почему скандальные сведения не увеличиваются? Вообще ни хрена не увеличивается теперь. Это багулину словил, видимо. Вот, теперь обновилось. Двадцать 26 из 30. Одну галу где-то я, что ли, въебал.
Inquisitor Adar, we met briefly. I am Grand Duchess Floriane de Chalon. Welcome to my party.
Интересное имя для разговора.
Why am I not at all surprised that you want to see me now?
This is Orlais, Inquisitor. Nothing happens by accident. I believe tonight you and I are both concerned by the actions of a certain person. Come, dance with me. Spies will not hear us on the dance floor.
Танец двух женщин.
Should two women really be dancing together?
My dear Inquisitor,
Минус
we are the
10.
most important people in the room. It would be more scandalous if we did not dance.
Найс, минус 10. Я просто задал вопрос. За что минус 10?
The Talvashoth are hardly known for political maneuvering. Just what interest do you have in our little war?
Просветите меня.
What do you think I ought to know?
My brother and my dear cousin have been at each other's throats for too long.
Мой брат и милый клиент. Ты сестра герцога, да?
Yet one party would use this occasion for blackest treason. The security of the Empire is at stake. Neither one of us wishes to see it fall.
Обе ли мы этого
Do we
хотим?
both want that, Lady Floriane?
Плюс 10.
I hope we are of one mind on this.
In times like these, it's hard to tell friend from foe. Is it not, Your Grace?
I know you arrived here as a guest of my brother Gaspard, and have been everywhere in the palace. You are a curiosity to many, Inquisitor, and a matter of concern to some.
Вопрос на вопрос. И кто же я для вас?
Am I the curiosity or the concern to you, Your Grace?
A little of both, actually. This evening is of great importance.
Плюс
Inquisitor.
15.
I wonder what role you will play in it. Do you even yet know who is friend and who is foe? Who in the court can be trusted?
Никому. Кому вы
An
доверяете?
excellent question. I might ask the same of you, Your Grace.
Отлично пообщались. Не дождется она от меня ответа.
Everyone is alone.
Я в курсе.
It cannot have escaped your notice that certain parties are engaged in dangerous machinations tonight.
Некоторые, разве не все?
I thought dangerous machinations were the national sport in Orlais.
Плюс 5.
You have little time. The attack will come soon. You must stop Gaspard before he strikes. In the Royal Wing Garden, you will find the captain of my brother's mercenaries. He knows all Gaspard's secrets.
Капитан наверняка по-любому
I'm
мертвый.
sure you can persuade him to be forthcoming.
Думаю, мертвый
We'll see
уже.
what the night has in store, won't we?
Думаю, это ловушка.
You'll be the talk of the court for months. We should take you dancing more often.
Я добыл
The
информацию.
Duchess had some interesting things to say.
Of that, I have no doubt.
Were you dancing with Duchess Florian?
More importantly, what happened in the servants' quarters? I heard there was fighting.
I hope you have good news. It appears the peace talks are crumbling.
Нашла агентов Винатория.
Morrigan helped me get into the servants' quarters, where I found a group of Venatori and Gaspard's dagger.
The man would truly do anything to become emperor.
Then the attack on the Empress will happen tonight.
Warning Celine is pointless. She needs these talks to succeed, and to flee would admit defeat.
Then perhaps we should let her die.
Мы им разрешим?
I thought we were here to stop the assassination.
Listen to me carefully, Inquisitor. What Corypheus wants is chaos. Even with Celine alive, that could still happen. To foil his plan, the Empire must remain strong. This evening, someone must emerge victorious.
And it doesn't need to be Celine. She's right.
Do you realize what you're suggesting, Leliana?
Sometimes the best path is not the easiest one.
А какой путь лучший?
You're asking me to decide what's best for Orlais.
More than that, whoever controls the Imperial throne will affect all of Thedas.
You cannot stop Corypheus without a decision.
Как я могу решить, если я никого не знаю? Ни Селину, ни Гаспар. Я не знаю их как людей. Не знаю, чем они занимаются. Я не понимаю. Как я могу выбрать?
I say Gaspard, provided his sister is wrong about him.
I would suggest Briala. She could bring true peace, not only to
Да, Бриалу сейчас выберу, да и все. Эльф на троне Орлея. Просто ор, выше гор. Нужна больше информации. Я не могу так выбрать.
You must. Even inaction is a decision, Inquisitor.
Согласен.
You could speak to Celine in the ballroom, but she won't act. Not without proof.
If Gaspard is guilty, he'll admit nothing. If he's innocent, he knows nothing. We need the truth.
What did Duchess Florian tell you?
She said Gaspard's mercenary captain is in the royal wing, that he knows about the assassination.
Я не жил в Орлее. Откуда мне знать, кто из них что из себя представляет? Как я могу выбрать вообще?
Search the private quarters in that wing for clues.
Кого делать
Get me
правителем?
access, and in the meantime, get your soldiers into position.
At once. Be careful, Inquisitor.
Бред. Я их 5 минут знаю и уже должен решить судьбу всей страны. Жесть.
Lady Nightingale makes me nervous.
С какой стороны заперт?
I have an idea, Josephine. You should invite all the family to Skyhold for the summer.
You'd be bored the second you stepped past the gates. Skyhold is a fortified castle, not a holiday resort.
Don't you miss us?
Of course I do, Yvette. There's just so much work undone.
You always put these tasks ahead of us.
Well, I'll see if I can come home for your gallery show. How does that sound?
Oh, that would be so nice.
Что скажешь, Жозефин?
Yes, I promise.
Oh, wonderful.
Inquisitor?
Hello.
What do you think of helping Briala take control?
You are serious. I cannot recommend it. Whatever Brianna offers, she, of anyone here, has the least reason to stay loyal to us.
Which power should the Inquisition throw its weight behind?
Celine has held the throne successfully for years. I see no profit in ousting her. Gaspard has run military campaigns, but never a kingdom. His transition would be, let us say, chaotic.
Enjoying the ball?
I see many of them.
The dancing is so dull, Your Worship. But the Empress's gallery is magnificent.
Yvette.
Sorry, Josie.
Ладно.
I'll see you later.
Inquisitor was any doubt of the fate I undressed him.
Опа. Здорово.
My friend, come in, have a drink. What can I do for you? If you're as delighted by the court as I am, there's a decanter of port around here.
I'd like to know more about you.
All of Orlais knows.
Я не знаю твою
But
историю.
you, my friend, are far too sensible to be Orlesian. The heart of it is simple.
Я в курсе. Вот это я и знаю, что ты истинный наследник. Это я знаю, да.
But my cousin, Celine, is a politician, while I am a man of action. She charmed the Council of Heralds. They gave the crown to her, and while it looks fetching on her, I intend to take it back.
What's your claim to the throne?
The 100 Days Cough swept BoyarHoR in 877. It killed thousands of children, royalty and commoner alike. There are only 3 living grandchildren of Emperor Judicael I. Myself, my sister Florian, and Celine. And I am the eldest. By right, the crown should have passed to me.
Как она вообще власть
If you're the
получила?
rightful heir, how did Celine become empress?
Что она сделала?
I am the oldest, but I lack the Valmont name. My mother was the late Emperor's sister. Celine is a Valmont. Her honored father was my mother's brother. But she is the youngest. When there is any doubt surrounding the line of succession, the matter
Тут реально путаница какая.
of heralds. Celine outplayed me, forming
Просто подкупила, да? Большую часть совета.
so they passed over me in her
Предложила им выгодные условия, какие-нибудь земли, не знаю. Желаете ей смерти?
Just what are you claiming? Her crown or her head?
If Celine loses her head, it will not be my doing. I want my empire. I do not wish harm on my cousin, but I would not weep at her demise.
I have a question about the peace talks. What are you hoping to achieve at the negotiations?
I intend to take back what is rightfully mine. Celine stole the crown through politicking, but I am the rightful emperor of Orlais. The empire has been mired in intrigue for too long. We need a clear course of action.
Какой?
What action did you have in mind?
The empire is declining. We cannot allow Nevarra and Ferelden to chip away our borders. I will see Orlais return to glory as the strongest nation in Thedas.
Ну, здесь ради политики.
You say you hate politics, but you're here to negotiate.
I can play the game when I must. If I couldn't, I'd be dead by now, Inquisitor. But it is not my choice. Celine has my sister involved in this mess. I would prefer to settle this on the battlefield. But for Florian, I will sit and talk.
Что случится, если Лена умрет?
If something were to happen to the Empress, how would that change your plans?
Celine has not declared an heir. If the Maker called her home, the crown would fall to me. But the Council of Heralds would try to implicate me.
Почему?
in any
Чем он
misfortune.
так тебя
If
не
they
любит?
succeeded, the crown could pass to my sister, or
Ну, если кто из трепер, это ничего страшного. Проходят переговоры.
How have the negotiations been so far?
The port won't last the evening, I'm afraid. We will end the night with nothing settled, which should surprise nobody. But it will disappoint my sister. I don't know why she had such high hopes for this ball. Florian always was hopelessly optimistic.
The Grand Duchess says you're plotting to kill Celine.
Resorting to rumor-mongering, Inquisitor? Come, we are beyond such childish stratagems. My sister would never say that. There are no words to convince me that Florian would turn on me.
I discovered something you might be interested in. It's about you, in fact. Want to tell me why you were threatening the members of the Council of Heralds?
The language of politics, Inquisitor. If you cannot bribe politicians, you threaten them into backing down. Most of the Council are Selene's lapdogs. There was little chance I could win their support any other way.
I have the orders issued to your general to sneak troops into the palace.
Of course I did. The Winter Palace is hardly neutral ground for our peace talk. I would be disappointed in Selene if she were not using this opportunity to set a trap. And while we rarely agree on anything, I have never yet been disappointed in our Empress.
Так, убил эмиссара совета.
There's a Council of Heralds emissary in the servants' quarters. Stabbed to death with your knife.
No. That's impossible. Who would try to pin such a crime on me? The elf?
Возможно, эльфийка подставляет его.
We'll speak later, Duke Gaspard.
Another time, friend.
Я буду выдавать, что у меня есть там на Бриана, на Селину. Я вообще не знаю, что у меня на них есть. Что-то есть, видимо. И не должны об этом знать. Кто из них? Леди Флэр.
Inquisitor, to what do we owe this honor?
We will be happy to assist you if we can.
Their Imperial Majesty is unfortunately occupied at present.
My investigations turned up something interesting. I made a fascinating discovery. An elven locket in the Empress's vault.
Oh dear.
That is very interesting.
I'll get Her Majesty.
О,
Inquisitor, I regret that we did not have time to speak earlier. No doubt you have questions about many things.
медальон, подарок Бриала.
The locket I found. It was a gift from Briala, wasn't it?
She gave it to me for my coronation. I don't know why I kept it. It was a foolish thing to do.
Почему пути разошлись?
What made the two of you part ways?
She wanted change, and she thought I should deliver it. My word is law, Inquisitor, but laws don't command people's hearts. Culture does not transform itself overnight. She never loved me, only my influence. Wisdom is never bought cheaply.
Слабость опасна.
The Empress of Orlais can't afford that kind of sentimentality.
Indeed. It was a relic of another life, Inquisitor. One that is over. Dispose of the locket however you like. It means nothing to me.
Да что, ты сама встретилась.
Is there something?
We are here.
We will speak to the Empress on your behalf.
Окей. Поговорим о нашем
If
союзе.
the evening ends favorably for the Empress, how does the Inquisition benefit?
Her Imperial Majesty brings the might of the Orlesian Empire with her friendship.
She is also a respected diplomat and world leader. She can forge alliances for you with
Прикольно.
Antiva, the Underfells.
And she throws the best parties.
I'd like to know more about the negotiations. What is the Empress trying to accomplish with the negotiations?
Peace is her only objective, Inquisitor.
Gaspard and Briala are driven by personal ambitions, but those desires threaten the safety of all Orlesians.
The war must end tonight. We must conclude this to deal with the larger crisis.
What's happening with the peace talks now?
Things do not look promising.
The Grand Duke is as stubborn as always. He will not accept anything but victory in battle.
But the night is young, and Her Majesty will do everything she can to persuade him.
Понятно.
Perhaps you could tell me something then.
Кто вы?
We haven't been properly introduced.
How rude of us to forget.
Milady Inquisitor, may I present Lady Couteau?
And Lady Colombe.
And of course, Lady Fleur. We are the Empress's ladies-in-waiting.
I'd like to know more about Empress Celine.
Her Majesty has held the throne since she was just
16 лет. Сколько она уже правит? Лет 40?
Not just in Orlais, but across.
Ей же где-то 56, судя
She
по тому,
doesn't
как она
care much
выглядит.
for liver, and she drinks her tea black.
Good evening.
Until next time, Inquisitor.
Do take care.
Enjoy the masquerade.
Опа, посол Бриала.
Inquisitor Dar. The stories claimed you were barely capable of speech. You haven't dazzled the court this evening, but at least you've avoided embarrassing yourself. Well done. What brings you to me?
Ну, господи, переговоров.
I want to know more about the peace talks. What are you hoping to gain from tonight?
Она тоже участвует в переговорах, что ли?
A voice. Simple enough, isn't it? My people have none. We've lived for centuries amid the lowest ranks of society. No one hears us. No one sees us. If the elves of Halam Shiral were elevated, if we had an elven noble at court, we'd have recognition. A voice.
Но было бы достаточно,
How
что ли?
much can a single member of the court do?
It won't remake the world overnight, if that's what you're asking. Our problem is invisibility. The people in power are used to ignoring us. We're not actors. Scenery. We need elves in positions where they can't be overlooked. We need to force humans to take us seriously.
Как вы этого добьетесь?
How will you persuade the Empress to elevate an elf to nobility?
It is already in place. Celine knows she needs us to tip the balance of the civil war in her favor. All we have to do is wait. She'll exhaust her other options and come to us for help. Then we'll name our price.
Знатным эльфом будете вы?
I assume the role of elevated noble will fall to you, Milady Briala.
Let's be honest, Inquisitor. The sole elven noble in the court isn't going to have a position of power and luxury. But that's the future. We need to focus on the task at hand.
If Celine were killed, what would happen to your plans?
Assuming I'm not the one blamed, it would be precarious. I've been working on Gaspard, but he's
Безумный
like
бык.
It would be easier to rein him in if I had something that could hurt him.
Так.
I had a question about you, Briala.
I'm an elf, Inquisitor. That should tell you everything you need to know about my life. I'm good at what I do. That's all that matters. I will help my people no matter the cost.
I've been told you were romantically involved with the Empress.
I didn't take you for a gossip monger, Inquisitor.
Да ладно,
I
не
suppose your
скрывай.
spies have already briefed you, so there's no point in pretending. Yes, Celine and I were lovers once, but we've gone our separate ways now.
What's your story? How is an elf invited to the Empress's ball as an ambassador?
Empress Celine and I have history. There was a time when I put my spies at her disposal. She knows my qualifications. We had a falling out. Now we are negotiating to determine whether I return to her side in the war.
What do you mean, we had a falling out?
She betrayed me. Turned me over to the guards on a trumped-up charge to
Yes,
save her
no.
political reputation. It wasn't personal. It's the game. That's how all Orlesians justify these things to themselves. It wouldn't do to let the court know she had an elven friend.
If she doesn't win you back to her side, what do you intend to do?
I have contingency plans. I'm not a child putting all my hopes on a single ball. This evening gives me access to Duke Gaspard. He's challenging. Not as progressive or persuadable as his cousin. But with time and sufficient blackmail, he might work with us.
Знаете, как это
You
звучит.
just told me you have reason to betray the Empress.
I know it's incriminating. Few harbor more resentment against Celine than I. But if she died after inviting me here, the court would certainly pin her death on me. An elf assassinating the Empress? Alienages across Orlais, across all Thedas, would be purged. That cannot happen.
Так, я кое-что узнала.
You might be interested in what I found. It's about you, actually. You murdered negotiators and stole their documents.
In Orlesian politics, Inquisitor, murder and intrigue barely count as crime. If that shocked you, wait until Celine shows her hand.
I found the drop point, Briala. I know your people are hidden all over the palace.
Of course they are. I'd be a poor spy master if I didn't have spies, Inquisitor.
You might be interested in what I found.
Так, Гаспаря.
It's about Gaspard. He's been threatening the nobles on the Council of Heralds.
Typical. Gaspard's always been a bully, regardless of the Chevalier Code.
I found orders issued to his general to sneak troops into the palace.
My people reported Chevaliers skulking around where they shouldn't be. It's a foolish move if he doesn't succeed. Sneaking men in is easy. Getting them out unnoticed is not.
You think Gaspard was behind the murder of that council emissary and the Tevinter agents in the servants' wing?
Gaspard is ruthless. He wants the throne, but to conspire with Tevinter.
И откуда тогда Тевинтер тут появился?
If you intend to stop him, you'll need irrefutable proof. His supporters will accept nothing less. Celine will never end the talks until she has no other choice.
Ваш медальон.
I found an elven locket hidden among Celine's things. This isn't yours, is it?
Let me see that. She kept this. What was she thinking? If Gaspard had found this, it would have ruined her.
Чувство.
It might have meant something to her.
Or she held on to it in case she needed something.
We'll speak more later, Ambassador.
Another time, Inquisitor.
Так, выполнено.
Where has that servant gone?
Колен.
Such beautiful hair, Commander.
Always shirking their
Thank you.
duties.
Куда? Куда секреты деть? Почему 0? Их же 20 с чем-то было.
Inquisitor, was there something you needed?
Так, ладно. Почему 0?
Look at Lady Cambian's slippers. Trimmed with
26 было или 27?
emeralds. And those buckles. Toss her into the lake and she'll sink right to the bottom. What a disaster.
There's a Tevinter assassin on the loose and you're concerned about buckles on shoes.
Everyone needs a hobby. Besides, you can learn a great deal about a person from their clothing. Gold and jewels on a dancing slipper. A slipper is easily lost and finds itself in the dust and dirt. She is unconcerned with the possibility of losing the shoe or soiling it. A vulgar display of wealth. But Lady Cambian's family has recently lost most of its holdings. They have their title,
Показуха.
but little else. So, how did Cambian acquire such a grand shoe? What has she done? Who has she bedded? These are all useful questions, no?
You're different here than in Skyhold. More approachable, perhaps.
This is Halam Shiral, Inquisitor. This is the Imperial Court. This is the beating heart of the Great Game.
Блин, обожаю Лиану.
Of course, everyone is wearing a mask. I learned this very young. I was still a girl.
Обнял бы ее.
All this, the smiles, the small talk, it is a dance. And like any dance, it can be learned. For some of us, it has become so familiar that the steps may be performed in our sleep.
Поддерживаешь Бриалу?
Do you really think Briala should be given influence?
Celine has been in power long enough to expect support. If we secure her throne, she will be grateful. But such gratitude will pale beside that of one we raise up from nothing. Who is lower than the elf? If we place Briala in power, with Gaspard as her mask, her debt to us will be great indeed. And Gaspard will have the throne he has wanted. With conditions, of course. I suspect he will still find it gratifying.
Кое-что есть.
I found this out. I'm not sure of its value.
Very interesting. It may not help our investigation, but we can put it to use. A little more dirt like this, and we might have some leverage in the court. If you find more, let me know.
Have you seen anything interesting?
Oh yes. Halamshirol is lousy with scandals and scheming. But no sign of our infiltrator, I'm afraid.
I should go. Be on your guard.
I always am.
26.
I still remember the day they... Lady Inquisitor.
Good evening.
О, соточка расположения двора.
Don't worry so much, my dear. I'll be ready when the time comes to strike. Tell me, Vivienne, where do you want the crown to fall? What I want is irrelevant, darling. Orlais requires stability, and that is...
Неважно, и сказала все равно. Понятно.
Be ready to act when...
И важно, и тут же ответила. Насколько и не важно. Ой. Идти в императорский материал для шантажа. И в императорское это идем. Логово. Мне что, ключ, получается, дали? Для шантажа Бриалы и Гаспара.
Well, that's useful.
7. Было бы неплохо еще где-то 3 найти. Но невозможно там, где двери закрыты. Я-то не смогу открыть. Я же не ловкач, как я могу это сделать. Че, опять одевать оружие? С тиммейтами опять пойдем? Императорское крыло, да. Опять одеваться. Ну, хоть этим не надо по новой все одевать. Вроде как.
So, even Liliana thought this place was dangerous and you wanted to just walk in here. This party is looking up.
Дворянские покои. Статуэтки. Да, статуэтки бы найти, конечно. Гала. Знаем, куда ее применить. Тут я получил. Еще один секрет нужно найти. Заперто с другой стороны. Опять убийца какой-то. Эльфа хочет зарезать.
Thank you.
Безопасности ты.
It's all right now. You're safe. Safe? I don't know if I believe in safe anymore. No one's supposed to be here. Briala said... Oh, I shouldn't have trusted her.
А что, Бриала?
Briala told you to come to this wing of the palace. Not personally. The ambassador can't be seen talking to the servants. We get coded messages at certain locations, but the order came from her.
She's been watching the Grand Duke all night. No surprise she wanted someone to search his sister's room.
Как ты попала сюда?
This wing is sealed. How did you get in here?
Easy. The door was unlocked. One of the others probably handled it.
Is there anyone else who knows the code and the drop location who could have written those orders?
I don't know. Any of us could do it, but no. No one else would send me here. It had to be Briala.
Так, это комната Флорианы.
So this room belongs to Grand Duchess Floriane?
It used to. This had been her private room in Halam Shiral since she was a child. But this part of the palace was damaged, and the royal family moved to the guest wing.
Что ты искала вообще здесь?
What were you trying to find in Floriane's old room?
The message didn't say. I should have known it was a setup.
Расскажи, что знаешь.
If there's a reason you distrust Briala, I want to hear it.
I knew her. Before. When she was Celine's pet. Now she wants to play Revolution, but
Revolution.
She was sleeping with the Empress who purged our alienage.
Другие эльфы не знают.
Something like that could destroy Briala, if it were known.
No. Some know she has a history with the Empress. But they believe she was just a favored servant. If the Inquisition will protect me, I'll tell you everything I know about our ambassador.
Go to the ballroom. Find Commander Cullen. He'll keep you safe.
Thank you. Make her protect you, Inquisitor.
О, Галла. Замечательно. Еще одну где-то надо найти. А где? Так. Ага.
Hello? Is anyone there? Somebody. Anybody?
Еще одна Галла. Но, кстати, если я сейчас... получается, я не могу открыть все двери. Потому что я сейчас, если найду Галу, я все 5 потрачу сюда. А мне нужна еще одна Гала, получается, чтобы там внизу дверь открыть. А их всего 10, а надо 11, получается. Как-то так. Найти бы это. Ого. Это что, зеленая демона, что ли?
I wasn't certain you'd attend. You're such a challenge to read. I had no idea if you'd taken my bait.
Еще танец?
I fear I'm a bit busy at the moment. If you were looking for a dance partner.
Yes, I see that. Such a pity you did not save one final dance for me. It was kind of you to walk into my trap so willingly. I was so tired of your meddling.
Это для меня на зубок.
Corypheus insisted that the Empress die tonight, and I would hate to disappoint him.
Корифей, ясно. Чего добивается Корифей?
Why kill the Empress? What does Corypheus want to achieve?
Celine's death is a stepping stone on the path to a better world. Corypheus will enter the Black City and claim the godhood waiting for him. We will cast down your useless maker and usher in a united world, guided by the hand of an
Заботливый бог. Окей. Так, зачем помогать Корифею? Дура совсем.
Why would you help Corypheus attack your empire?
You think so small, Inquisitor. Why settle for an empire when Corypheus will remake the entire world? I admit, I will relish the look on Gaspar's face when he realizes I've outplayed him. He always was a sore loser.
What exactly is in this for you?
The world, of course. I'll deliver the entire south of Thedas, and Corypheus will save me. When he has ascended to godhood, I will rule all Thedas in his name.
Все-таки придется его разочаровать.
At this point,
point, I think disappointment was an old friend.
You poor deluded thing. You don't know half of what Samson and I have planned.
Самсон опять.
And now I suppose you never will.
По-моему, Самсона я уже убивал или нет? А, нет, не убивал. Я его помощника убил.
All I need is to keep you out of the ballroom long enough to strike. A pity you'll miss the rest of the ball, Inquisitor. They'll be talking of it for years. Kill her. Bring me the marked hand as
Сейчас демоны повылазят. Бегите, глупцы. Они вас же и сожрут первыми. Совсем не страшная западня. Кто там тут сидит? Привязали кого-то. Возьми себя в руки.
Aren't you supposed to be a soldier? Act like one.
The pay's not good enough to keep my calm, friend. I knew Gaspard was a bastard, but I didn't think he'd feed me to fucking horrors over a damn bill.
Duke Gaspard lured you out here.
Well, his sister. But it had to come from him, didn't it?
Нет.
But all that garbage she was spewing doesn't mean anything. Gaspard had to be the mastermind.
Расскажи о планах.
Tell me everything you know.
The Duke wanted to move on the palace tonight, but he didn't have enough fancy chevalier. So he hired me and my men. He had to offer us triple our usual pay to come to Orlais. Sticky bunch of cheesemonger.
Удивительно, что вы согласились.
I don't know if I'm more shocked that Gaspard hired Ferelden mercenaries, or that you actually took the job.
You and me both. I've had enough of Orlesians to last a lifetime.
Do these people ever not stab each other in the back? Just curious.
You saved my life. I owe you. And Gaspard still hasn't paid me. You want me to talk to the Empress or the court or sing a blasted song in a chantry? I'll do it.
Так, вернитесь к Калину с добытой информацией. Так, спешить не надо, мне еще галубу одну найти. Если это возможно. Поближка. Вот так и проходи, блин, игру. Просто, если ты не разбойник, то хер пройдешь игру на 100%. Просто банально двери не сможешь открывать в один момент. Так вот. Я отсюда пришел, так понимаю. Блин, ну я там не все изучил, а меня уже прогоняют. Уже двора уже начинает падать, как всегда. Падает и возвращается. Забавно. Зимний дворец, реквием. Блин, я Галу там не нашел. Меня игра возвращает. Можно не уходить? Шуты. Оставайтесь на месте, шуты. Блин, где я? В Бардесианском театре опять. А тут не был. Статуэтка, блин, опять 4 из 5. Да где же одну статуэтку-то найти? Одну статуэтку, где я ее мог проебать? Я не понимаю. Где-то вот одну статуэтку не нашел, и я теперь хз. Могу ни хрена открыть. Да уж. Так, это возврат. О. Пофиг. Я найден. Дайте мне. Бабло. Нет, не бабло, галлу, одну штуку. Жира тут нету. Не верю. Ну где я мог потерять галу-то? Я все всегда, блин, осматриваю тщательно. Раз забаговался, видимо, куда-то под текстуру уронил или чё. Другого объяснения просто нет. Жаль. Ах.
Thank the Maker you're back. The Empress will begin her speech soon. What should we do?
Так. Дать герцогине Бедин потом разобраться с ней. Так, поговорю с Флорианом. Публично сказать преступление герцогини. По всему... Порой избежать дальнейшего проклятия. Арестуйте герцогиню. Спасти жизнь Селины, потом разобраться с герцогиней. Блять, а чё делать-то? О, я поговорю.
Wait here, Cullen. I'm going to have a word with the Grand Duchess.
What? There's no time. The Empress will begin her speech any moment.
We owe the court one more show, Your Grace.
Все смотрят, улыбайтесь.
The eyes of every noble in the Empire are upon us, Your Grace. Remember to smile. This is your party. You wouldn't want them to think you had lost control.
Who would not be delighted to speak with you, Inquisitor?
I seem to recall you saying, all I needed was to keep you out of the ballroom long enough to strike. When your archers failed to kill me in the garden, I feared you wouldn't save me this last dance. It's so easy to lose your good graces. You even framed your brother for the murder of a council emissary. It was an ambitious plan, Celine.
Главное выступать против корифея, это главный враг.
Your enemies under one roof.
This is very entertaining, but you do not imagine anyone believes your wild stories.
I did not wish to, but it seems I have no choice.
Gaspard, you cannot believe this. You know I would never... Gaspard?
Игра, это все игра. Я сама казню. Я здесь сильная рука.
Your Imperial Majesty, I think we should speak in private, elsewhere.
Теперь ты подо мной, Селина.
Your sister attempted regicide in front of the entire court, Gaspard.
You're the spy master. If anyone knew this atrocity was coming, it was you.
You don't deny your involvement.
I do deny it. I knew nothing of Florian's plans. But you knew it all and did nothing.
I don't know which is better. That you think I'm all-seeing, or that you're trying so hard to play innocent and failing.
Enough. We will not bicker while Tevinter plots against our nation. For the safety of the Empire, I will have answers.
Следствие Гаспара. Так, используйте собранные против Гаспара, чтобы поддержать Бриалу. О. Давай.
I wouldn't have caught Florian in time without Briala's help. You were working together.
Of course.
Существуют приказы Гаспара.
We have the note to your general ordering him to move troops covertly into the palace grounds.
It was a defensive choice. I expected betrayal here, just not by my own sister.
Keep talking, Gaspard. Eventually you'll convince somebody.
Он угрожал совету.
There were also the threats Gaspard made to the Council of Heralds to bully them into giving him the crown.
Gaspard is a bully. Is that the worst you can say of me?
Нормально, нормально. Он прятал наемников.
And his mercenary captain will be happy to tell you all their plans for the coup tonight. Briala found all of this out for your sake, Celine.
In light of overwhelming evidence, we have no choice but to declare you an enemy of the Empire. You are hereby sentenced to death.
Кенигсар попытаться помирить Селину с Бриалой.
I think Ambassador Briala deserves some reward for uncovering all this.
Давай.
I can scarcely believe you did all this for me,
Celine.
Thank you, Inquisitor, for all your efforts tonight. I owe you my life, and Orlais owes you.
Эльфийку к власти привел я, по идее, надеюсь. Я этого добивался. Кассандра всецело одобряет. Пол всецело одобряет.
For us.
We won't forget this.
Так, рад, что сумела помочь.
It was my pleasure. The two of you deserve to be happy.
We truly are. Come, stand with us, Inquisitor. We must give the...
Три бабы! Сука. И все разные расы, кстати. И я по центру самая высокая. Правая рука — человек. И слева эльф.
This is a night for celebration. Those who sought to poison our empire with treason have been brought to justice. It is a new age for Orlais. We shall build a world in which all men and women live in harmony.
Чё она не стоит? Бриана, вставай.
I introduce the newest member of our court, Marquise Briala of the Dales.
This is not just a victory in Halam Shiral, or within the Empire, or even for elves alone. This is a triumph for everyone. Over 1,000 years ago in the Valerian fields, elves and humans together defeated the Imperium. We can do so much more now. We are greater than our ancestors ever dreamed. Together, we will start by saving our world from the enemy who
Говорит, как
took the
императрица.
divine and tore the sky apart.
Начинается настоящая война.
Our enemy does not negotiate and has no mercy. We fight for our very existence.
Всем крестьянам, всем солдатам, вперед в армию, взять виллы и вперед. Под мое начало. О, Мориган.
The Orlesian nobility make drunken toasts to your victory, and yet you are not present to hear them. Do you tire so quickly of their congratulations, Inquisitor? It is most fickle, after all your efforts on their behalf.
Захотелось воздухом подышать.
There's plenty of opportunity for that later. I wanted some air.
I had no wish to interrupt your breathing, only to bring news. By Imperial decree, I have been named Liaison to the Inquisition. Celine wishes to offer you any and all aid, including mine. Congratulations.
I had no idea you were interested in joining the Inquisition.
The assignment has been given to me, regardless of my personal interest. Celine knows you face an opponent who wields great magical power, which is far more important than her own curiosity. You will require my knowledge if you are to defeat such magic. Regardless, Corypheus is a threat to Orlais and to myself. Thus, I am not opposed to the appointment.
Что вы можете делать, Мориган?
What skills do you have that would benefit us?
I have knowledge
Она повзрослела за 10 лет.
Beyond the realm of most mages.
Если она прям такая была, подросток подростком, можно сказать. Тот, которого выкинули из дома.
Mundane knowledge will not bring the rift in the sky to a close, after all.
По крови?
When you say knowledge beyond the realm of most mages, do you mean blood magic?
I know many obscure, forgotten, and forbidden arts. Some of it you might consider blood magic, yes? Should thought of that frighten you, allow me to offer reassurance. Knowledge alone does no harm. What I possess, I place at your disposal to make use of or ignore as you desire.
Добро пожаловать.
Welcome to the Inquisition, Morrigan.
A most gracious response. I shall meet you at Skyhold.
О, как хорошо, в Скайхолде прям будет. Балдеж. Жозефине она не понравилась.
Is everything all right? You look troubled.
Бедный герцог! Можно расплакаться! Хотя я мог его спасти, но не стал этого делать специально. Специально убил его. Блять, ну отправил на казнь, не собственной рукой убил. Но сестру его собственной рукой убил. Бедный герцог. Блять, я сейчас нажму этот ответ. Чисто по рофлу, блять, нажму этот... Блять, сейчас нажму это. Ой. Блять, сейчас нажму.
I wish I could have done something to save Gaspard. He didn't need to die.
It was regrettable. But he made his choice when he declared it. His death was his own.
Я могла что-то...
Is there anything I can do? Can I get you anything?
Ой, блядь.
just need a moment.
Максимальное лицемерие. Лицемерие в лицо того уровня. Ой. Мне бы очень хотелось. Сука. Ой. Нормально, нормально. Это все играть надо. Игра, это все игра. Все мы носим маски.
The matter is urgent, Lady Josephine.
Кто такая
I am
вообще?
well aware of that, Revere.
Чё разоралась бабка?
We will need them to return to Valroyo as soon as possible. There are ceremonies, ordinations. Make us mercy.
Боже, выгоните ее.
That's quite impossible at the moment. However, I will see to this matter as soon as possible.
My Lady Inquisitor, please, may I have a word with you?
Не понос, так золотуха.
Just when you've solved one crisis, another springs up to take its place.
I am sorry to place this burden on your shoulders, but you are the only one who can help. With the political turmoil put to rest, our minds turn to a single question. The next
Не
divine.
знаю, откуда мне знать, какие у вас там есть
We cannot
кандидаты.
answer it without the left and right hands of divine Justinia V.
Кассандра и
I
Лилиана.
have already told you, Revered Mother. Lady Liliana and Seeker Cassandra cannot be spared.
Давайте я за вас решу.
But
Показывайте, я
surely
выберу.
with the support of the Empire, the Inquisition will not be harmed by the loss of just 2 souls.
Значит, зачем они вам?
Why do you need Liliana and Cassandra?
They were Her Holiness's most trusted advisors. They represent her legacy, her hopes for peace in
Ясно.
Thedas.
Лауна,
They
да.
could rally the Grand Clerics to follow as
Понятно.
no
Да они не
captain
будут
from
их
the clergy
слушать,
has
не
been
надо.
able to.
Они кандидатура на пост жрицы?
Liliana and Cassandra are candidates to become the divine.
Делайте
How is that possible?
Лилиану тогда.
Not yet, but they could be.
Делайте Лилиану.
We need
Лилиана в восторге будет.
There is precedent. Other times when clerics remained deadlocked, a successor was chosen from outside the clergy. Lady Liliana
Кассандра
and
явно не
Seeker
хочет.
Cassandra were Justinia's most trusted
Лилиана
friends
может
and
согласиться.
advisors. Our late divine is still held in high esteem. To honor her, the Grand Clerics might support one of them as successor.
Сколько времени их не будет?
How long does the Chantry need them?
Several months at least. If one of them is crowned divine, she would not be returning to the Inquisition.
Пусть решают сами, их дело.
Liliana and Cassandra would have to make that decision for themselves.
And they certainly will, at a later date. The Inquisitor has only just returned and has important business to attend to. You must excuse us, Revered Mother.
Боже, как я их терпеть не могу, вот этих бабок
Don't let them
полуумных.
detract from your victory at Alam-Shiral. We've beaten his wardens and stopped his intrigues. Soon, Corypheus will have no place to hide. Cullen is hoping to press our advantage. We'll plan our next attack when you're ready.
О-о-о-о! Так, надо распродаться, а то борода. Места вообще нема. Блин, дайте. Кто такой? О, тут, походу, миллион квестов. Продали все, называется. Это все продавать можно вообще нигде, где-то кал. Это, кстати, не кал. Как носить все равно не могу. Какая разница? Это я носить не могу. О. Блин, а я... Маску оставить? Нет. Оставим пока что. Так. Блэквелл, что хочешь? Долго на огонь смотреть будем?
Want a drink? I've a hankering for company.
Спаиваешь меня? Че, из таверны всех выгнали? Хорошо сидим.
You're brooding.
I am not.
I like brooding.
I was thinking about when we went to the ruin, when we found the badge. Everything seemed clear then. Like I could do anything with you at my side. Anything. That's a hard word, you know. Means a lot.
You mean a lot. Let's get out of here.
Душа компании. На сеновал пошли, серьезно. Ебать. Как деревенщины.
You need to know that I'm not worthy of you. There's no future for us with me as a warden.
Давай жить настоящим.
You don't know tomorrow any better than I do. One moment at a time.
Then for now, let there be nothing else. No one else. Just you and me.
Радость сердца. Ачивки за ачивками. Ядрить. Никогда голую ее не видел. Ядрить. Свалил? Куда? В тропы? Не. Куда? Что? На глубины тропа он свалил или что? Чего? Письмо конюху. Личное письмо с уверенным почерком. С уважением к раперам. Меня зовут Айдла Гудвин. Я вам пишу по поручению вашего сына Дезмонда. Он сейчас очень занят на конюшне Инквизиции, так что попросил написать за него. Я только рада помочь, потому что знаю, сколько времени у него уходит на составление слов. Я тоже служу в Инквизиции, здесь с ним и познакомился. Он очень хороший, мне нравится с ним вместе работать. Я здесь помощница по исследованию, веду учет пород лошадей. Могу сказать, что он здоров и счастлив и очень по вам скучает. Он очень хорошо о вас отзывается, и я вас почти что вижу перед глазами. Очень рады были узнать, что Мор не так сильно навредил, как мог бы. Если все пойдет хорошо, пойдет. Мы с вашим сыном вместе со всеми остальными сделаем так, чтобы больше таких трагедий не случалось. Айла Гуден, поручение Дезмонда Кроппера. Я это читал, наверное. А Блэквелл ничего не оставил, никакой запись. Он просто свалил. Он просто свалил. Блэк, не знаю, что сказать. Что не напишешь, легче не будет. Уходить тяжко, но остаться было бы совсем не могу. Прости меня, пожалуйста. What the fuck?
The spy master has confirmed it. Blackwall is gone.
When we were together, he seemed troubled. I should have seen this coming.
Here, I have something that may help. Sister Leliana had us search the warden's quarters. Not much to find, except...
Nice.
It was missing from last week's reports. I don't know what Blackwall's interest in this particular matter is, but it could be a good place to start.
Смятый отчет. Смятый лист бумаги, вырванный из отчета для сестры Лилианы. В Лайтсе схвачен лейтенант Сирил Морня, один из солдат, виновен в убийстве семьи Кае в году 937. Как и прочие арестованные участники, Морн настаивает, что не знал, на кого они нападают, и выполнял приказы капитана. Капитан Том Ренье до сих пор не пойман. Морне будет казнен в Валройе на этой неделе. Наверное, он в Валройе свалил, да? Не, ну это просто гениально. Он, видимо, сам лично его хочет казнить или что? Что скажешь, Калин?
I wanted to thank you. When you came to see me, if there's anything... This sounded much better in my head.
Ты себя лучше чувствуешь?
I trust you're feeling better?
Yes.
Is it always that bad?
The pain comes and goes.
Ну это хорошо, что она уходит, по крайней мере, временами. Старайся отвлечься.
Skyhold won't fall apart if you take an hour for yourself now and then.
I'll keep that in mind. I've never told anyone what truly happened to me at Ferelden's Circle. I was not myself after that. I was angry. For years, that anger blinded me. I'm not proud of the man that made me. Now I can put some distance between myself and everything that happened. It's a start.
Отпускать прошлое — это правильно.
The past isn't always pleasant. Sometimes you have to let go and move on.
I can't forget what happened, but it led me here. I can make that mean something. Anyway, I meant to thank you, not trouble you further. You've enough to worry about. How are you holding up?
Мне будет лучше, когда мы победим.
I'll feel better when we take down Corypheus.
As will I. He will not elude us forever.
Опять ты меня увел. Шок-контент. Вечно он меня уводит куда-то. В ебеня.
I'd be perfectly happy never again setting foot in the Winter Palace. It wasn't the gossip and backstabbing that what the game entails, but the indifference to it all.
Мы добились своего.
We ended the stalemate. That's what matters.
In the Winter Palace, the clerics in Val Royeaux were still arguing over who should be divine. Chantry politics may involve less spectacle, but they're just as heated. The Empress rules a country. The divine influences half a continent.
May I ask you something?
Of course.
The Inquisition won't last forever. What will you do when this is over?
To be honest, I hadn't given it much thought until recently. I'm not used to having so many possibilities.
Так, теперь ты против храмовников?
Do you think Templars should cease to exist?
No. I may have chosen to leave.
Ну я все для этого делал, чтобы они перестали существовать.
Magic ungoverned could tear the world apart.
Ну ладно, тебе Винтер не погубил случай. Так, ответ какой?
What would you suggest?
Some call the circle a prison that can only breed resentment. Perhaps opportunities to work outside the circle. A mixed military service or healers' clinics with Templar support. And there must be a safer way for Templars to leave. Templars can lose their memories to Lyrium. Some call it a gift, to forget the failed harrowings, the demons. Some atrocities haunt me still. But to lose what good I can recall, I nearly lost my mind once. It is no gift.
Храмовники нам вообще не нужны.
Mages can take care of themselves.
Tell that to the parents of a child who falls prey to possession. Mages cannot handle such threats alone.
Так, о чем ты сожалеешь?
You still regret the man you became after leaving Ferelden?
After the Ferelden Circle, I thought all mages were like the ones there. Knight Commander Meredith's methods were harsh, but they kept people safe.
Мередит ошибалась.
You said Meredith was unstable.
She was my Knight Commander. I had no reason to distrust her. She wasn't wrong about the blood mages in Kirkwall. Meredith encouraged my anger towards the mages. There was only so far I would go, and she knew that too. I was her second in command. She kept decisions from me, those I would question. I believed she was serving the city. I never thought to question her, not until it was too late.
Здесь из меня начальник лучше.
I hope you find the Inquisition's leadership more agreeable.
I am confident you will see us through to the end. The Inquisition is my chance to atone. I will not see it fail.
В твоей семье все хорошо?
You've mentioned siblings. With everything that's happening, do you know if they're all right?
I've received word from my eldest sister. She was always good at tracking me down. South Reach has experienced the same chaos as everywhere else. My family is fine. Pray they remain so.
Так, отыскать тебя.
Your sister tracked you down. She didn't know where you were.
I let her know I was in Haven. She assumed I survived. It's not the first time. I may have neglected to tell her when I was transferred to Kirkwall.
Why?
I wasn't in a good state. I wanted only to leave. I received an angry letter about my disappearance 2 years later. For all her reprimands, it was a relief to hear from someone who knew me before the Blight.
В смысле это все?
That's all.
I'm sure you have other matters to attend.
Это не все. Я про героя Ферелдена хотел спросить.
May I ask?
Of course.
If you don't mind my asking, the hero of Ferelden was a servant.
Ага.
Did you know him?
I attended his harrowing, actually. He was a talented mage, considering he brought an end to the Blight. That goes without saying.
Ясно. Это все, что можешь сказать?
That's all I wanted to know.
Should you require anything, I'll be here. Did you need something?
Is there anything I should know?
My senior officers report that the soldiers are in good spirits.
Хорошо.
Having the Imperial Army as an ally has bolstered their confidence. The Orlesian military is highly regarded. Of course, I'd wager our own recruits are equal to any chevalier.
That's all for...
I'm sure...
Нормально. Врач, что скажешь?
I wonder what it is that gives Grey Wardens their legendary skill and stamina. I should like to study one. Would that fine fellow I've seen in your company consent to a careful examination?
Угу. Вовремя. Когда он по съебам дал. Это же шевалье.
Going well, I hope?
What's been going on?
Madame de Fer said hello to me. Or maybe she was waving at someone else and I just thought she was. Yeah, that's probably what happened. I should...
Так, Кассандра.
Will you not consider it, Lady Cassandra? The clerics are still sequestered. If no one steps forward, they will debate until...
Ясно, уговаривает.
And you think I could make them agree? I've heard enough for one day, Mother Giselle.
Talk to her, your worship.
Весело тут у тебя, да?
The fun never ends in Skyhold, does it?
The Inquisitor was a funny Kunari. That's what they'll say one day.
Веселая
I
Кунари.
assume you've heard that Leliana and I are both candidates to be the next Divine. Because of what happened at Halam Shiral, of course, the Empire favors you. Thus, everyone close to you. So now the Chantry bandies our names about without even asking us first.
How can you and Leliana be candidates? You're not even priests.
It's not without precedent. Amar III was sister to the Emperor, and Galatea a commoner. Leliana and I were, at least, part of the Chantry hierarchy. It would be accepted.
Я не в кандидатках. Так, а почему я не в кандидатках?
If they'll pick non-priests, why am I not a candidate?
Because you're a mage, first and foremost.
А и что?
If they name you a candidate, they may as well join the Tevinter Imperium. Truly, though, I imagine it's because they're frightened of you.
A weight such as yours would break the Sunburst throne and tear the Chantry to pieces.
Ну так.
I just don't know why they believe Liliana or I would be any better.
Кого сейчас вообще волнует
Why even
церковь?
consider it? Who cares about the Chantry? I care.
Ясно.
Surely it was never meant to be like this. The Chantry, the Circle of Magi, the Templars, this cannot be what they intended when it all began. The Chantry should provide faith, hope. Instead, it cannot veer from its course, even in the face of certain death.
Ты действительно так считаешь?
I'm surprised to hear you of all people say that. Oh? Am I not the same woman who declared the Inquisition against the Chantry's wishes? In all my years as a seeker, I did what I was told. My faith demanded it. But now my faith demands something else. That I see with better eyes.
Церковь себя изжила.
The Chantry has failed, Cassandra.
И цело
I wonder
осуждает.
if the legions of faithful throughout Thedas would agree with you. Did you know Varric is Andrastian?
Нет.
Oh, he blasphemes with every second breath, but deep down he believes. His heart is virtuous.
Добродетельное
But he would
сердце.
never step foot in a Chantry. It should be the first place to which the virtuous turn. It needs to change. Perhaps I must be the one to change it.
Блять, она собралась стать... Как же Лилиана?
You're not the only candidate. What about Liliana? Liliana says she wishes to follow Justinia's legacy. But she and I remember a different person. Justinia knew her fellow clerics and the people would only accept so much change. Liliana would cast it all aside and start over, I think. And that would be chaos for us all.
А что бы ты
What
поменяла?
would you change about the Chantry? The Circle of Magi has its place. But
Нужен. Нет! Не нужен.
themselves
Не нужен. Я тебе не позволю стать...
stand not as the
Нет.
jailers of mages, but as protectors of the innocent. We must be vigilant, but we must also be compassionate to
Шило
all
на мыло
peoples of
предлагает
Thedas,
поменять.
human or no. That is what I would
Да
change.
нихера это бы. Может, церковь пора распустить?
Perhaps the Chantry needs more than just change. You mean get rid of it entirely? I disagree.
Она меня сейчас
Without
возненавидит.
the
Но мне
Chantry, the
насрать.
faithful would be lost. The Chantry must simply be more responsible in how it leads. I suppose I should not be so concerned. The clerics speak my name for now, nothing more. For now, restoring order and stopping Corypheus remain
Я
our
тебе не
priority.
позволю стать верховной жрицей. Кассандра, даже не думай. Лилиана станет.
Hello again.
А ты хочешь быть верховной жрицей?
So, you're a candidate for Divine now? So I am informed. Is that something you actually want? Why should what I want matter? The idea of power doesn't appeal to you. Ah, yes. To be embroiled in politics and have every cleric jealous of me for the rest of my life. It is very simple. The Chantry needs to survive. To do that, it must change. I have never believed in asking another to do what you are unwilling to do yourself. So I look upon this as an opportunity. I owe it to myself and all of Thedas to seek the Sunburst throne. There are other ways you can change things. Perhaps. I may not have a choice in the matter if the Chantry clerics pick another. Do you have any advice for me? It seems that Corypheus searches for Elven Artifacts. That's hardly surprising. Tevinter power is based on what those vultures scavenged from the ancient elves. Whatever advantage he hopes to gain, we need to stop him at once. That's enough for now. Another time, then.
Так. Что хочешь, сэр Мортис?
Oh, Bells, it's you. Morris. Sir Morris, I suppose. I am serving as quartermaster for Skyhold, and it's
Я в курсе, кто ты. Что хочешь, говори.
Stores are growing, and so long as we have fair coin to restock, you and yours will be well served.
Ясно. Вы теперь вместо Трен?
You're the replacement for Thren after she was lost at Haven.
I'm sorry I didn't meet her. I'm sure she was a stalwart defender of liberty. I confess no one has been forthcoming with an opinion. I assume out of respect for her pious nature.
What makes you ideal for this position? It's an important one.
My family has ties to several freehold militias, as well as cousins acting as officers in Ferelden and Orlais.
And your qualifications?
My family holds treaties with 3 new money Tevinter houses, and a rare Orzuma contract with a Paragon namesake.
And your qualifications?
To be honest, Your Worship, that was my question. I am the nexus of a dozen threads tied by others, designed to cast the widest and most appealing resource net. But I will rise to the occasion. Skyhold will want for nothing. I swear it.
How's it going? Do we have what we need?
With Skyhold shining like a beacon? You name it, it's here or on the way. I've wrung out the slackers, given them what for. I think I like this job.
There are problems coming out of Halam Shiral.
There are always problems from Halam Shiral. We've lost a few contracts, but more than made up for it. Although, if a few commendations were given, it might retie some severed threads. I couldn't suggest how. That is better decided at your war table, and I'm not going near that thing.
As you were.
We are here for you, Inquisitor.
Ой, так, что ты хочешь? Согласовать сделку по чертежам оружия, ясно. Душный тип. Куда квест сделал? Тут же квест был какой-то.
Commander Cullen did good work at Adamant. Breached those walls like he'd done it a dozen times. Nice job with the demons, by the way.
We'll talk later.
Тут же квест какой-то был. Куда он делся?
You know I've got no problem with Orlesians, but Halam Shiral was a mess. At least under the Qun, you don't get everyone tripping on each other's dicks while the country goes to crap.
Нам от политики не
The
уйти.
politicking we saw at Halam Shiral might seem pointless, but it's the beating heart of the Empire. The winner of the game is the one who best builds alliances and controls what's discussed and what's decided.
So it rewards manipulation instead of rewarding the ability to get stuff done. I don't know. The Qun isn't perfect, but it doesn't care what any single person wants. Orlais is full of people who care about nothing else. Damn, these are good. Are these nuts or seeds or whatever? Nice.
Так, бык не хочет со мной разговаривать. Ладно. Чё встал?
Inquisitor?
Чё встал на стул? Блин, тут же квест, восклицательный знак был где-то. Куда он делся-то, мать его? Вот исчез.
Inquisitor.
Тук? Чё, заперлись?
One for the Empress. For Gaspard. Brianna. The Duchess. Right in the dangle bag.
За тебя они все одинаковые?
You think all those people should be treated the same?
After Halam Shiral? Kind of. They all get little people killed and don't care. A cook here, a footman there. What's it matter, right? So long as there's a book for the throne. A pretty one, sure. But how many lives are worth one empress's arse? Ugh, that place. Should have just thrown in some bees and slammed the doors.
Мы приняли важное решение.
We decided the course of a nation. I think it was worthwhile.
Right, Orlais will never be the same. Except for everything they say and do. Ugh, you know the most important thing I got out of all of that mess? The one thing. Don't sleep with empresses. That's what that was all about. We patched their spat, Briala and the Selene. But without their breakup, none of it would have happened like that.
Да, они подлили масло в огонь.
That was a mistake on their part. It made everything worse.
Wrong way around, Inquisitor. It started worse. Lots of people died before there was a hole in the sky. That's who you're saving. If you get a chance, maybe remind them not to be idiots.
There's you, yes?
I'd like to know more about you now that you're comfortable.
Suppose. It's embarrassing enough now, may as well.
I think that after our rooftop chat, I get what...
Don't bring this up, Egg. Really, let's just be us.
We'll talk...
Жаль, Галу не нашел. Последнюю.
I didn't understand the grand ball. It would have been easier if they said what they wanted.
Это игра.
Orlesian nobles see politics as a great competition.
Yes, but none of them ever win.
I'll talk to you later.
How do you know? She's still behind the curtains in the reading room, watching the blood pool on the floor.
I'll talk to you later.
How do you know? Откуда ты знаешь? Это вопрос вообще орный. Довольно-таки вопросик. Варик что-то хочет. О боже, с кем это ты?
I appreciate the warning, but you shouldn't have come yourself. What if the guild found out, or what's his name?
Are you worrying for me or for yourself?
A little of column A, a little of column B. I am the expendable one, after all.
Oh, don't worry, I'll protect you. We'll just have to... Well, this is a surprise. You're the Inquisitor, right? Bianca Davri, at your service.
Bianca Davri? По... как арбалет?
Your name is Bianca.
It's a common name. Half the girls in the Merchants Guild are named Bianca. The other half are named Helga. I lucked out.
Подруга Варика.
I take it you're a friend of Varric's.
Who isn't a friend of Varric's? You have met him before, right?
С Вариком волнуетесь.
Why do you both look like cats that got into the cream?
Коты в сметане.
She's taken a huge risk coming here herself. Maybe for both of us.
You're such a worrier. There's a giant hole in the sky. I think the Merchants Guild has bigger things to think about.
Bianca's got a lead on where Corypheus got his red lyrium.
The site of Bartran's Folly, the tag Varric found, has been leaked. There's a deep roads entrance crawling with strange humans.
Бартранд, серьезно.
How do we know they're not using multiple entrances to get to the Tig?
Navigating the deep roads isn't like the surface.
То самое
There's
место
no
идти.
accurate maps of the whole system, and there are cave-ins, dark spawn, lava floods. If you find a route that gets where you're going, you don't deviate. Trying to find another way could be deadly.
Кто проболтался от Эйги?
Who could have given away the Tig's location?
There were a few people who knew. Hirelings from the expedition, a couple of close friends.
How they found out isn't important. What matters is we know where they are now.
Бьянка знает, где это?
If it's such a secret, how do you know about it, Bianca?
I told her. Right after the expedition, I wrote and told Bianca what we found. I had artifacts that needed buyers, and she had more contacts that would pay for them. Plus, I owed her.
Разве не рядом с Киркловым?
You can get there from Orlais. It's a long way to the free marches.
The deep roads are all connected. Or they used to be. Collapses and such. Some of them on purpose.
They really are roads. They spanned the Dwarven Empire, went to every corner of the continent, maybe further. In theory, you can get to any Tig using the deep roads, but in practice, there's a reason nobody uses them anymore.
Пресечем поставки.
We need to deal with this. As long as he has this source, Corypheus is that much more powerful.
I couldn't agree more.
I'll keep an eye on their operation. If you're interested in shutting it down, you've got my help. Try not to leave me waiting too long, Varric. I've got my own work to do, you know.
Right. That's not going to be trouble at all. Let me know when you want to head to the entrance.
Жесть. Еще одни глубинные тропы. О чем надо с тобой обязательно говорить?
I need to have a few words with my publisher. The first one will be you, and the second one will be Bastard. They've claimed for years my crime serials don't sell in Orlais. So why is the Council of Heralds asking me for autographs? Sorry, distracted. Anyway, you need something?
About that lead of yours, Varric.
Sure. The sooner we take care of it, the better.
Do you think this lead of hers is real?
Bianca's too much of a researcher to pass me information without verifying it first. But if you're asking whether she'd lie to us, maybe set us up, it's possible. Not likely, though. She risked the wrath of the guild coming in person. A message would have sufficed. Whatever she found in that entrance shook her up. That worries me.
I read your tale of the
That's a pretty common reaction.
Okay. Голос.
There are spirits hovering by the veil to observe the thrones of powerful nations, the machinations, betrayals. After our time in Halam Shiral, I understand why. I had forgotten how I met.
Тебе это нравится?
I'm pleased you had a good time.
Political gambits, broken promises, half-truths. It is a palace full of motivation, and motivation is where great things happen. In any event, Celine should now be a steadfast ally. And Brialla as well, thanks to your efforts on her behalf.
Все остались в
I
выигрыше.
liked it. The Inquisition gets a valuable ally, and perhaps your people will get better treatment in Orlais.
How will mages be treated better? Oh, you mean elves? I'm sorry, I was confused. I do not consider myself to have much in common with the elves.
А с кем много?
Who do you have much in common with? Who are your people?
A good question. I joined the Inquisition to save the world. Regardless of who my people are, this was the best way to help them. As for the elves of Orlais, I believe Brialla is doing quite well on their behalf. She is an admirable woman.
Правда так считаешь?
So you don't have anything in common with elves, but you admire her for fighting for them.
I admire many people whose interests I do not share. She organized resistance against a powerful enemy, using only her wits and the resources at hand. That demands respect, especially in a world where most would look at her and only see a pair of pointed ears.
Острые уши. Что-нибудь еще?
Good afternoon.
I'd be interested in hearing your opinions on elven culture.
Perhaps you could ask Sarah. She has opinions.
Сейчас я спрашиваю, не
If
сэра.
I wanted Sarah's opinions, I'd be talking.
Да, не отправляй меня.
Some colorful new idioms, no doubt. What do you wish to know?
Я твой босс, не надо меня отправлять никуда.
Is elven magic different from the magic used by humans?
No and yes. Magic is magic, just as water is water, but it can be used in different ways. Dalish magic is more practical, not needing chantry approval, although they still frown on blood magic. Superstition. Much of it is more subtle. A legacy from when elves were immortal.
The legends of elven immortality. Did they use magic to increase their lifespan?
No. It was simply part of being elven. The subtle beauty of their magic was the effect, not the cause of their nature. Some spells took years to cast. Echoes would linger for centuries, harmonizing with new magic in an unending symphony. It must have been beautiful.
You said that the censure against blood magic was a superstition.
I did. It's fortunate Cassandra is not within earshot. Most modern cultures forbid blood magic. Publicly, even Devinter disapproves of it. But as I said, magic is magic. It matters only in how it is used.
Согласен. А мне магия крови не мешает.
To be honest, I don't see it as different from any other magic. It's a means to an end.
Indeed. Under the chantry, blood magic is forbidden, so only criminals practice it. While in Tevinter, magisters compete with each other instead of keeping their volatile friends in check. They always succeed through power, so they have never had the chance to learn another way.
I'd like to know more about the elves from before our time.
The Dalish strive to remember Halam Shiral, but Halam Shiral was merely a fumbling attempt to recreate a forgotten land.
Arlathan.
Elvenan was the empire, and Arlathan its greatest city, place of magic and beauty, lost to time.
You've studied ancient elves. What else do you know of Arlathan?
We hear stories of them living in trees, and imagine wooden ramps or Dalish Erebels. Imagine instead spires of crystal twining through the branches, palaces floating among the clouds. imagine beings who lived forever, for whom magic was as natural as breathing. That is what was lost.
I'd like to know more about the Dalish Elves.
It is a mistake to think of the Dalish as a single group. They have lived as separate clans for centuries now. As a consequence, each clan has learned, interpreted, and forgotten different parts of Elven history. Some trade or adopt city elves who flee the alienages. Others attack humans on sight.
О городских расскажи.
What can you tell me about elves living in human cities?
The culture in alienages or among the slaves of Tevinter is like any of the impoverished and powerless. They cling to memories of a better past and practice a few rituals to distinguish themselves from humans.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Так. Не эта дверь.
Marvelous business, the Winter Palace. Saving the day, reconciling lovers, mediating a civil war. So sugary, it's nauseating. All this dancing, politics, and murder makes me a bit homesick.
That's something you'd like to do more often, then?
Watch as you twist an entire empire around your little finger. Yes, please. Of course, that leaves only Tevinter. And it wouldn't work as well there.
No. Why not?
Our dances are so much more intense. If an evening lacks a murder, we sniff and call it a ball. I hope you tried the ham they were serving, by the way. Tasted of despair. It's fascinating.
I should go.
You know where I'll be. Something you need?
I should go.
As you wish.
Лилианочка, ты будешь главой церкви.
So it's true. Some look to Cassandra or even me as Justinia's successor. I never thought the idea would gain momentum.
Вот бояр
Of
удивится,
course,
когда
with the
вернется.
other candidates out of the picture.
Вы их последняя надежда.
They must be desperate.
It's much less flattering when you put it that way. If only being divine were as simple as looking good in a large hat. Restoring the Chantry will be like trying to steer a sinking vessel through a storm.
Whoever becomes divine will have my support if she requires it.
And I'm sure whoever becomes divine will absolutely require the Inquisition's backing. The Chantry is faltering, but it still has influence over the people. Who tells the people what's right? Who do they look to in times of peril? A divine with enough support can change the Chantry. And with it, Thedas. But this is a discussion for later. If Corypheus wins, finding a new divine will be the least of our problems.
Просто ты будешь слушать меня, и мы будем править всем миром.
A message from Divine Justinia.
That's a shock. You're right reading it.
Thank you for the concern, Inquisitor. But I am. This message was written months, perhaps even years ago, to be delivered to me if she died. I've heard of such contingency plans. A sudden death often leaves loose ends. I'm to go to Valence, a small village on the waking sea. There is something hidden there.
Do you know what you're looking for?
The Divine was a powerful woman who used her position to obtain all sorts of things. Whatever she hid in Valence would very likely benefit the Inquisition and must be kept from falling into the wrong hands. If I'm lucky, she will have instructions for me.
You take your instructions from me? What sort of help can a dead divine give you?
I don't know. Perhaps something to do with the Chantry. Or it could be personal. She guided me for many years, Inquisitor, as a divine and as a friend.
Конечно, я помогу
There are
тебе.
days when I still look to her for advice, only to remember that I am alone.
Why hide things in Valence? What's so special about it?
Justinia was revered mother at the Chantry there for many years before she became the Divine. It is a place that holds great meaning for her. I'll help in whatever way I can. Wonderful. I was hoping you would agree to come with me to Valence. One more thing. If what is hidden in Valence is as valuable as I think, we're not going to be the only ones looking for it. I shall meet you at the Chantry in Valence. Try not to delay. I didn't get the chance to say so earlier, but welcome back to Skyhold. After that terrible journey through the Fade, it must feel good to stand on solid ground again, no?
Nothing in the Fade bothered me.
Oh? Well, I'm glad for you then.
You seem to know a great many people.
I have made friends, and on occasion enemies. It's unavoidable.
А Мориган
What do
расскажи.
you know of Morrigan?
She's changed.
Неприятная.
Disagreeable. Cruel. She said things just to hurt people. Now the sharp edges have worn away. Perhaps it was Kier? He saved us, did you know? I would have lost my love without Morrigan's child. I may never know her intentions, but I'll always be grateful.
We can continue this conversation later.
You know where I am. At your service, my lady.
Anything I should know?
Где Мориган? Она сказала, в Скайхолде где-то.
Power in Orlais. Good, we need an ally like her. At the moment, she's said to be rooting out the last of Gaspard's supporters. Once that is done, we will have a united Orlais behind the Inquisition.
I'll leave you to your...
Где же Мориган?
A request has been made of you, Inquisitor. Here it is.
Так.
Inquisitor, I wonder if you might help me with a delicate situation. There is an alchemical formula that I must complete, but I have been unable to obtain a critical ingredient. The heart of a snowy wyvern.
Ого.
I had arranged to obtain one, but the chevaliers working with me were killed in the Civil War.
If I'm going to hunt down a snowy wyvern, I need you to tell me everything you know about it.
They're quite rare and exceedingly dangerous. Their venom is the most potent of any.
По-моему, я таких убивал уже.
Ordinary hunters would not make the attempt. The risk is too great. You, my dear, would certainly be an equal to this monster.
I didn't know you were an alchemist, Vivian. What exactly is this project you're working on?
It is a special request from a member of the Council of Heralds. I am still the Imperial Court enchanter, after all. The matter is private. That is all there is to say.
You want me to risk my life to get this thing for you, but you won't tell me what it's for.
My dear, it is hardly proper for me to blab the secrets of those who put trust in my discretion. I would not have attained my position at court if I didn't know when to be silent.
I'm not a hunter. Why do you think I can help?
This beast is not hunted for sport, as other wyverns sometimes are. It is far more deadly. In the past, chevaliers have been dispatched to either kill the creatures or drive them away from villages. Since my chevaliers have fallen to political conflict, I find myself in need of someone with a martial aptitude.
Ой, что не выйдет. Помогу.
I'll do what I can.
Thank you, my dear. I would be most grateful. I shall give the location of its lair to Cullen. Remember, my dear, I must
Логово Калина.
the potion will not work.
Как нашего этого командора
I eagerly
зовут. Тоже
await
же
your
Калина
success.
зовут.
Yes?
О. Привет. Что за пацан? С гербом серых
You're the
стражей?
Inquisitor. You're very tall. Mother didn't say you were Canary.
Что с голосом у тебя? Подожди, мама? Ему лет 10? Это сын Мориган и Бояра. Кто твоя мама?
And just who is your mother?
Mother is the inheritor. She who waits the next stage.
Kieran, are you bothering the Inquisitor?
Of course not. Did you see what's on her hand, Mother?
I did see. 'Tis time to return to your studies, little man. My son. Never where you expect him to be, naturally.
I didn't know you had a son.
Why would you? I take great pains to not let my own reputation affect him in any way. To most in the Imperial Court, he's simply a quiet and well-spoken lad. Perhaps the heir of some distant family. But he goes where I go. Worry not, Inquisitor. Kieran is a curious boy, but seldom troublesome.
Где отец?
Will his father be joining us as well?
It would be most unlikely. His father helped raise Kieran for a time, but events have conspired to take him elsewhere. So 'tis but the two of us, Inquisitor. Your fortress is a large place, and you will scarce notice our presence.
Я не помню, чтобы я помогал как-то растить его. Ну, немного странный.
There's something rather unusual about him.
There is. He is a special lad. It falls to me to protect him from anything and anyone that mean him ill. Most of all, he must be protected from myself. No one could harm him more than I. To think, until recently this place stood decrepit, occupied only by the desperate and the lost. Now it is party to events that threaten to shake the world. I wonder if it is pleased.
It sounds like you've heard of Skyhold before.
This fortress was built upon the remains of a site holy to the ancient elves. They called it Salan, the place where the sky is kept. It is said that from here, they reached up to the heavens to bring them down to rest. They abandoned it, as did the humans who came after them. Bones laid upon bones, silent until your arrival.
Стихами будешь говорить? Мне она по душе.
I like this place. I've made it mine.
The magic in this place has seeped into the stones, protecting it from darkness. Those who let it fall to ruin did not know what they possessed. You, I think, shall do it justice. You were kind to welcome my aid, Inquisitor, even knowing as little of me as you do. I will do my best to aid your cause with all the knowledge at my disposal. This I swear to you.
I appreciate whatever help you can give us.
Some might think Corypheus a madman for seeking godhood. Yet one must ask, what were the old gods? What secrets of theirs did the ancient magisters know? What I fear, what all should fear, is not that Corypheus believes he can succeed. 'Tis that he actually may.
Нет, не получится. А вот у меня получится.
I understand you have spared the Grey Wardens from destroying what goodwill was left them. 'Tis good of you, considering the weakness Corypheus exploited was their own doing. Still, should a true archdemon one day arise, they will no doubt be needed. Or so they would have us believe.
I'd like to know more about you.
Ah, yes. Whence comes the mystery woman slinking her way into the Inquisition's ranks? Once I was an apostate, living well away from the banal influence of the Chantry in the Kakari Wilds. Then came the Fifth Blight with its darkspawn, and I left Ferelden for the Empress's court. 'Tis certain the nobles of Orlais breathe a collective sigh of relief that I am now here.
Так, видели пятый мор.
You were in Ferelden during the Blight.
The Blight began in the Kakari Wilds, so yes, I experienced it firsthand. Indeed, I fought at the hero of Ferelden's side for a time. He is the reason the Blight was defeated. We became close. Closer than I even thought possible. When I left, he pursued me. And after that, I came to Orlais. The last place one would look for me, or such was my hope.
It's odd that an apostate could live so openly.
It confuses those who expect apostates to cower and hide. I stand boldly before them and demand to know why I need some chantry mage to teach me to control my power. They would put me on a leash so they can feel safer at night. I am uninterested in their comfort. Naturally, it helps to have friends in high places.
The Orlesian court seems like an odd place to find someone like you.
That was the point, originally. I knew the Empress was intrigued by the arcane and that I could answer questions no chantry mage could. Thus, we fit together nicely. I became an advisor, and she my benefactor and source of refuge. Truth be told, our arrangement would not have lasted much longer. Too many wagging tongues, even for Celine.
Tell me more about your son.
He is a very special young man.
Special in what way?
In every way. At first, Kieran was a means to an end. But as he grew, I never thought of myself as a mother inquisitor. I had no good example to follow.
Понимаю.
I find myself becoming something I can barely recognize.
I'll leave you to the garden.
Of course. I imagine your forces will be heading into the Arbor Wilds very soon, Inquisitor. Trust me when I say that wherever the Alluvian is hidden, it is worth any effort.
О чем она говорит? Я не знаю, о чем она говорит.
What work have you been doing to help us?
Currently, my efforts are focused on determining what Corypheus is, and from where his power comes. The elven orb he carries is what draws my attention. I wonder if the power he used to tear up the Fade, in fact, came from the orb. Perhaps it is even the source of your anchor. If I learn of its origin, I may also learn what Corypheus now intends, as well as his weaknesses.
I could use your company for my excursions outside Skyhold.
I have spent my share of time wandering the wilderness in the company of others, Inquisitor. Thank you for the invitation, but for now I will restrict my efforts to researching the arcane.
Do you know anything about his dragon?
It has the appearance of an archdemon. Of that, I am certain. A true archdemon, however, is supposedly the corrupted form of an old god. Has Corypheus actually dug up one of the ancient prisons? If so, why has a new blight not begun? His dragon is something else, something connected to his blighted nature as well as his magic. Beyond that, I cannot say.
Is it even possible that Corypheus could succeed?
The Black City exists. Wherever one goes in the Fade, it is visible in the sky. The last time Corypheus and his cohort stood was they unleashed the Blight upon the world. This time, perhaps he might indeed gain untold power, becoming something unto a god. It is also possible he could unleash something far worse than the Blights. So yes, his goal. If not, his attempt alone could destroy the world.
Он считает меня соперницей.
Corypheus says I'm a rival. Does that mean...
Could you become a god? That depends. Are you prepared to use your anchor to enter the Black City?
О, да.
If the anchor would let me do that, absolutely.
Then Corypheus is correct. You are a rival.
Я ценю вашу помощь.
However you can help, it's appreciated.
Continue prodding at Corypheus, Inquisitor. Elicit a reaction, and we may yet learn from it.
Думаешь об Инквизиции?
Now that you've seen the Inquisition up close, what are your impressions?
'Tis remarkable what you have built. I will give you that. Leniana has built a network of spies beyond anything Thedas has seen. All this in precious little time, conjured from thin air through the power of fervor alone. I wonder if Corypheus suspected what he was enabling, just as I wonder what will become of all this once he is defeated.
Whatever happens, the Inquisition will survive.
That alone is worthy of wonder. A new player on the stage, a figure of might and marvel. Beware the heights you reach, Inquisitor. When this is done, many will be eager to knock you back down.
I'll leave you to the garden.
As you like.
Быстро надо так. As you like. Бабка старая. Чё?
Herald of Andraste.
Ничего не хочет. Слава богу. Слава богу, бабка это ничего не хочет.
And she will know no fear of death, for the Maker shall be her beacon and her shield, her foundation and
Так, давайте суд устроим. Мне еще построили, да, я смотрю. Кого будем судить?
First, this wasn't my idea. It is an issue born of titles and heir apparency and...
Ясно. Что за коробка там?
Halam Shiral is having difficulty freeing trade routes formerly controlled by Duchess Florida.
Мухи летают там. Там труп, что ли, или что?
Had she been tried, her assets would be forfeit and considerable bureaucracy avoided. So they ask that we judge.
Oh! Она мертва.
Are you serious? I did my part. She's dead.
А, это я понял. Что за мем?
That was the time allotted for rebuttal. Her crimes negated any claim to... Forgive me, there is an odor.
Блять, я сужу труп. Охереть. Был один случай.
Strangely enough, something similar happened to an uncle of Emperor Leandra II. His trade routes were returned to the reigning monarch. Why don't we just follow suit?
A wise choice. Thank you for making it swiftly.
Охренеть. Дело века просто. Дело века. Так.
How bracing to be in the thick of the game again. The last time I was at Alam Shiral was at Countess Letienne's wedding. There were a dozen affairs, 5 secret alliances, and a duel between 2 chevaliers over the vintage of an Antivan pole.
Кайф.
But until the Duchess was unmasked, I've never seen the Winter Palace in shock.
The nobility needed a shock. Corypheus played them all for fools.
I agree completely. The game's become increasingly insular in the past few years. Corypheus skillfully took advantage. It's disturbing so few people in the Orlesian court were aware of the Duchess's machinations.
The nobles of Orlais were worried about their own health, not the Empress's.
Some must have purposefully turned a blind eye. There's often room for advancement when thrones change. But let's not lose sight of victory. Your actions at the ball have secured us allies and favors alike.
Playing the game was thrilling. We did just make history.
Indeed. Tales of this affair have begun circulating in Val Royal. Although I do wish Varric would show a...
Я жаль, Галу не нашел, конечно, одну еще. Я очень расстроен этим, что я не нашел Галу. И не все интрижки. 3 интрижки я не нашел, где, по-моему. И монеты не все. Но это потому что взламывать не умею. По-любому одной из этих комнат и Галла, и все остальное. Я это не смог делать чисто.
What's the state of the Inquisition?
Our alliance with Orlais holds. For the present. They'll send aid on request.
And your actions at Adamant denied Corypheus his army of pet demons. With Orlais' support, our numbers match his. Corypheus' followers must be panicking.
My agents agree. Our victories have shaken his disciples.
Не сомневаюсь.
We've beaten their god twice over. Corypheus must be livid. Where is he now?
After you dealt with the Duchess, Corypheus uprooted his major strongholds. He's moving south to the Arbor Wilds. His army clearly wasn't prepared to flee. Our victories have them on the defensive.
Пора покончить.
We strike Corypheus now, while his people are reeling. If he's hiding in the Arbor Wilds, that's where we finish him.
But what is Corypheus doing in such a remote area?
His people have been ransacking elven ruins since Haven. We believe he seeks more. What he hopes to find, however, continues to elude us.
Which should surprise no one. Fortunately, I can assist.
Вы ворвались без стука.
The guards outside aren't for show.
I'm not here to amuse myself, Inquisitor. Corypheus yearns for something he must not find.
Which is?
His best, if I show you.
Пришла и ушла. Куда повела меня?
This is an Illuvian, an elven artifact from a time long before their empire was lost to human greed. I restored this one at great cost, but another lies within the Arbor Wilds. That is what Corypheus seeks.
Как вы это сделали?
You can restore an artifact like this.
There was a price, but one I gladly paid. I found legends of an elven temple within the Arbor Wilds, untouched. It proved too dangerous to approach, and thus I turned elsewhere to find my prize. If Corypheus has turned southward, he could succeed where I failed. The Illuvian would be his.
What does it do?
A more appropriate question would be...
На портал.
Where does it lead?
Куда? Куда ты меня потащила, ведьма? Прекрати. Я тут ходить сейчас буду. Блин, я хотел сохраниться и все на сегодня закончить. Куда она меня потащила? Я хотел на задание отправить советников и закончить. Она меня притащила, блин, в Алису в стране чудес, блин. Адар в стране чудес. Кайф.
If this place once had a name, it has long been lost. I call it the Crossroads, a place where all Illuvians join,
Все порталы, да?
wherever they might be.
Мы в опасности?
Is this place dangerous? It feels...
Unnatural, yes. We are, however, in no immediate peril. The ancient elves left no roads, only ruins hidden in far-flung corners. This is how they traveled between them. As you can see, most of the mirrors are dark, broken, corrupted, or unusable. As for the rest, a few can be opened from this side, but only a few.
Странная энергия.
This place isn't natural. It almost seems constructed. It's as if someone made a pocket within the Fade with its own rules of reality. If the ancient elves could do this...
It seems remarkable that the Magisters of Tevinter could ever challenge them. Yes.
It's deteriorating. Eventually, this place will simply collapse on itself.
Who can say how old it is? For now it stands, and thus retains its value.
How did you find out about this place?
My travels have led me to many strange destinations, Inquisitor. Once, they led me here. It offered sanctuary.
Sanctuary?
Not all the mirrors lead back to our world. The ancients were nothing if not resourceful.
О чем вы?
If they don't lead back to our world, then...
Places, Between, like this one. I can describe it no better. For a time, I had a respite with the man I loved. For a time, I had a safe place to raise my son. But only for a time. One
О каком мужчине она говорит, я не понимаю.
What do you mean, a few can be opened from this side?
Some of the Illuvians have been left unlocked, like doors accidentally left ajar. All others are closed. They can be opened only from beyond.
Opened how?
With a key.
I suppose you have such a key?
The key can be many things. Each Illuvian is different. I have knowledge as well as power. Often that is enough.
Corypheus wants to come here.
This is not the Fade, but it is very close. Someone with enough power could tear down the ancient barriers.
And enter the Fade in the flesh, like Corypheus wanted to do with the Anchor.
He learned of the Illuvian in the Arbor Wilds as I did. He marshals the last of his forces to reach it. You have made Corypheus desperate, Inquisitor. We must work together to stop him, and soon.
Опять музыка очень схожа на из «Игры престолов». Тема Старков.
Wandering the gardens, I see.
You seem to know a great deal about Elven lore.
The Dalish are not the only ones interested in the distant past, Inquisitor. Indeed, my skills allow me access to places the Dalish dare not even dream of. The ancient elves hold secrets they have not yet given up. Secrets about the foundation of Thedas itself. Thus, they are my focus. Corypheus clearly feels the same.
I'll leave you to the garden.
Of course.
Кто?
Here to help, Inquisitor.
А кто-то кого-то судит? Надо задание советников отправить. Так, 93 часа. Сегодня смотрел, сколько часов проходит 100% прохождение Dragon Age, и там что-то около 200 было. То есть я даже меньше половины, что ли, не играл, на 93 часа. Ну, там, по-моему, 170 было. Так что, наверное, даже больше половины. Ну ладно. Сегодня стрим такой разговоров. Все разговаривали. Весь стрим. Экшена особо не было. Так, гномы-рабы в руках у Винатори. Было получено донесение с места предполагаемого плацдарма Винатори. Содержание совершенно не укладывается в общепринятые исторические представления. Нашли плацдарм Винатори. На подходе увидели огонь. Решили, что те подожгли лагерь при отступлении. Оказалось, что нет. Лагерь уже разорен, в Винатори лежат мертвые. Нашли гномьи орудия. Самих гномов нет, ни живых, ни мертвых. Один труп глубинного охотника с признаком заражения скверны. Лучше приложение из подземного хода появились какие-то войска, застали Винатори врасплох, потом ушли тем же путем. Ход, однако, завален, не пройти. Обыскать лагерь, забрали все полезные ресурсы для Скайхолда. По возвращению в лагерь Инквизиция обнаружила новую дыру и записку в ней. Мы всегда приходим за своими, а вы, Инквизиция. Бинтус Вархельм Кэл Шарок. Имя врага. В Скайхолд привезли копию Либералума, которую искал Дориан, а также множество других вещей, от редких манускриптов до гримуаров давно почивших магистров. Главный архивариус глубочайше извиняется и выражает надежду на то, что его дары пригодятся Инквизиции. Дориану понадобится время на просмотр книги, но он твердо уверен, что найдет нечто важное. Пропавший наемник Валакас. Командир. Патрули наткнулись несколько трупов людей и один кунарий неподалеку от Имперского тракта. На некоторых телах были найдены брошюры, порицающие инквизитор как чудовищную еретичку. Мы обнаружили след нападающих, ведущих в пещеру недалеко от побережья. Судя по отчетам, в ней засел многочисленный отряд. Лейтенант Деврил. Так, да, предложение помощь на условиях страждущих. Письмо на темном пергаменте с новыми значками. Дыра в бесценном небе наземников, забота не наша. Тот, кто проделает, другое дело. Если Мора поженит мы действительно от этого паскудного магистра, мы ему не друзья. Следуйте этим указаниям, застигните врага спящими. Скажите солдатам, чтобы не уходили из главного тоннеля, больше предупреждать не будем. Бинтус Вархельм Калшира. В конце письма карта 7 пещер и количество солдат, которые может пройти. Давай, Лилиана. Тайны свои не хранят бережно. Шлите столько слов, сколько они написали, не больше и не меньше. Дом Амладарис. Вдоль и поперек изучив Либералум, Дориан нашел параллель между Корифеем и древним магистром Сетием из дома Амладарис. Доказать это будет тяжело, да и польза от такого открытия сомнительна. Но примечательно то, что дом Амладарис существует по сей день. Уже одного заявления о том, что Корифей и Сети одно лицо, хватит, чтобы учинить в Винтере скандал. Нынешним потомкам этот скандал не нужен. Сети, да, его зовут? Жасмин. Попробуем шантаж. Они без сомнения прибегнули бы к нему, поменяясь мы местами. Освобождение наемников Валакас. Командир, согласно отчетам, пещера, в которой держится Кунари, надежно укреплена. Не удается установить, сколько фанатиков скрывается внутри, какие у них есть средства для обороны. Также доподлинно неизвестно, живы ли пленники. Необходимо действовать с большой осторожностью, капитан Каллен. Пошлем войска для штурма пещеры. Вперед. Плоды гордыни. А может, Дориан что скажет теперь? Нет. Не скажет.
Know what it was like. The colors, the smells, the magic. I'm sorry, it's just so exciting. You went into the Fade. If you have time, Inquisitor, do tell.
You seemed excited that I fell into the Fade, Adamant.
Excited? Spring gets me excited. This is a wonder. It's probably hard to relate, but dwarves don't dream. So I can't even guess what it's like.
Гномы снов не видят, почему?
But you were there and came back. Can I take a sample?
Пробуй чего?
Oh, that sounded sinister. I meant, can I cut a little piece off of you and
Чего?
That didn't sound better, did it?
Чудная вы женщина.
This is strange. You don't have to tell me. All the rules are breaking. And I've broken plenty, so I know. Your people cleaned you up after your fall. I wonder if anything is left. So much to think about.
Where's mine? Yes?
Так. Понятно. Ну, это когда будем делать себе уже все элитное, тогда, наверное... Тогда, наверное, будем все это смотреть, делать. Так, пока все на сегодня. Я устал. Томительно довольно-таки слушать диалоги без конца. Реально устаешь-то. Пока.